All right, yay! Even though you're like, I'm just record, I'm like, great, I'm super ready. Not ready. All right, hey, welcome to DM Therapy, guys. We took a little break, but you might not know because maybe you just listening to them all in order and you just got to this one. So that's cool. What's up, Khadijah? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad to finally be able to record again.
Yeah, I mean, sheesh. I feel like it's funny because inside baseball, it's been a while since we did one of these like Jones for real. So it's like I've been specifically not talking to you
Yeah.
so we could have something to talk about.
Yeah, I'm
Nope, nope,
like,
nope.
he don't mess with me no more.
Save it for the pie.
I
It's
thought
all
we like had a
it's
friendship
all
breakup or
content
something.
now. Yeah. Meanwhile, everything what I'm saying, now we can talk about everything that's happened in life over the last year. My baby done left me. No, but this is a podcast, as I say during all of them. This is a podcast that stemmed from a lifelong friendship. Khadijah and I known each other basically all of our lives. A little pause in the middle, but for the most part, we've been connected for since elementary school. And when we became adults, it was like, oh, we started talking in our various social media outlets and on the phone and this and that. And we were like, hey, we should do a podcast, and bang, here it is. And you guys are listening to it. So what up to you guys? Listeners. That's my news. Young people slang W in front of the John. You know what I'm saying?
W.
Because they're winners.
Oh, okay.
Winning listeners.
Okay. That's
Telling you,
nice.
my students be keeping me young.
Yeah, because
But
I didn't hear.
yeah, I love that. Oh, what's it called? You know what I'm saying? You got young ones. They don't be saying W. Maybe I done aged out of it already, and I'm a little bit behind. So it's something else new and decent that you know. But I give myself credit for a W. All right. So anyway, let's just get into it because, like I said, I've been chopping at the bit to get some of these in. The question that I have for today is not even a would you rather. It's just these are. I'm just gonna get more deep after now. We done let them in with the would you rather's to make them get dip their toes in the water. But now it's like, all right, we're gonna get into it. So the question that I have, and I have a bunch of follow-ups, but the question I have for today is, do you need for someone to love you back in order to be in love with them?
What's the difference between love and in love?
I'm asking you.
Well, if love and in love is the same thing, um, I don't think I need them to, but in order for me to show that I love them, I need to know that you love me back. Like I could love you,
Mm,
but I wouldn't want to show it if I don't feel like it's the same. But
okay.
that's only if we're saying that, love and being in love is the same thing.
So make the distinction for me. What's the difference between love and being in love?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. To me, I just use them interchangeably. I say love and in love.
Well, you can love your homie, like we love each other, but we're not in love. I mean, or are we? You know what I'm saying? We are in, no, I mean, like we are in love, like, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying,
like
in a
I
way.
think.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like in love, I would say is like a romantic type of love.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we usually say when we say in love, we're talking about romantically, right?
Because
So,
sometimes I hear people say like married couples, you fall in and out of love with your spouse, but you
mm,
still love them, throughout the time that you guys
okay.
are married. That's why I asked the question. I know people like try to make a distinction between the two, but if we're talking about as far as relationships, then I feel like I can love a person
Hmm.
because I feel like I love a person who doesn't love me back,
Okay.
but I can't show. Like I feel like I have to hold all that in because it's not reciprocated.
Okay, so reciprocation is important to you specifically for, well, I mean, I don't know. It's important to you to be able to express it, but it's not important to you to feel the feelings.
Right. I don't think knowing that a person doesn't love me or feel the same towards me will stop how I feel about them.
So how do you know that you love them?
Um, I guess because I feel like I would still do um like certain things for them regardless of what the situation is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
in my situation, I got a situation going on, but
Mm-hmm.
certain things I will still do just
Right.
because. I mean, of course, like the romantic side of things, like I wouldn't, try to get into that. But if, you know, they needed something, you know, that wasn't like out of the realm of like, come on, you're doing too much.
Mm-hmm.
I would do it. But I'm like that though. Like if in a relationship, if, we're going through something, we're having an argument, we're beefing, in that same moment, like let's just say, and this is crazy, but I'm like that. Like if we were in a relationship and I found out that you cheated and I was
Mm-hmm.
upset and hurt, and that same day, you know, you got into some trouble and needed me, in that moment I still would be there for you.
Yeah.
That's how I know that I love you, because I'm still willing to do the things. Like I could still angry, mad, or hurt. I could still make sure you're okay. Still be, there for you in certain ways,
Yeah.
um, that I wouldn't for somebody that I don't care about or love in that
See,
way.
I love that. I'm just saying love. I love that. I love that because it's like it kind of depicts a greater understanding of, like what we started off by saying, that being in love, you are in the process or in the act of loving somebody. And what it made me think is, like you were saying about the married couples, it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. Uh, it may start off romantic, but you then kind of find yourself in love, or it might start off as, a friendship or whatever, but then you find yourself in the act of loving this person, and it doesn't stop because the romantic part is messed up, or and I can see that in married couples because especially if you're spending a long, long time with each other, like, people are evolving, like I'm growing, you're growing, or maybe I'm growing and you're not, or vice versa. So I love the person that I got into the relationship with, but maybe you somebody different now, and I can dig that. I guess what I want to know from there though is, do you think that it is still love? Like the scenario that you gave me was, somebody, if somebody cheated on you, but then they still needed your help that same day. Do you think that is love, or do you think that is like, I don't know, for lack of a better word, like manipulation? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you think, or not manipulation per se, but like somebody, well, I don't know. Do you think that you are attached? Is it attachment? That's what I'm trying to I think get the distinction. Like, do you think that you are still loving on that person, or is attachment a part of love?
Um, I don't think it's attachment. I mean, in some instances, it may be,
Mm-hmm.
and you just feel attached to that person, or you just have, longevity with that person. But I think just because a person hurts you, um, on your end, you
Mm-hmm.
don't stop loving a person just because
Right.
they hurt you in a way. Now, the other person, they may be in a way manipulating you or something like that because they know how you feel. But I
Mm-hmm.
think on the person that has the love, and I think that it is love because you're willing to do those things. Now, that doesn't mean you allow the person to use you. You allow the person to manipulate you. And cheating was an extreme situation because some relationships can end. It doesn't have anything to do with cheating, or you can be hurt in a certain way. But I think love doesn't have anything to do with the other person. Well, not in the sense that you don't have to be loved in order to love.
Yeah.
If you love somebody, if you care about somebody, then that's just what it is. Now, it's your responsibility to not allow them to walk all over you or treat you crazy, and for you to recognize that the person doesn't care about you and to, move on with your life. And you may not even ever have to help, but the fact that you would or that you're willing to, I think, kind of lets you know that you do still love that person. I don't know. I just think that loving somebody is it literally doesn't have anything to do with the other person. Like, you guys initially fell in love for a reason. You love that person. And, life changes people. Grief changes people. Addiction, depression changes people. So you may no longer be able to be in a relationship with that person, or if it doesn't even have to be romantic, like a friendship. I know somebody that had a really close friendship that ended because of the person's addiction. But through that, you kept fighting and being there for your friend because you love them, regardless of the lies and all the things that was happening to you. Got to the point where you couldn't do it anymore. But that didn't stop the love that you had for that person. So I do think on the other end, a lot of times it is manipulation from the other party because they know that. And they know that they can always come to you, and they know that you're going to always be there, or assume, that you'll always be there. And that's the manipulation on their part. But that doesn't have anything to do with you. Like, if you're asking the question, like, do you have to be loved to feel love or give love?
No, I love that. I think, I mean, and it's weird because I don't even know if I expected it to go in this way, but there's different layers, there's different types. I guess when you get down to it, we're talking about the same types of feelings, but when you're talking about romantic love, and we were just saying, it shifts into different, it morphs into different ways as it carries on. You had said something that made me think. Oh, and I had offered the idea of attachment. How do you, or how have you recognized when it's been morphing in your personal experience, or how does one recognize? I'll take you out of it because I don't want you to have to spill all your tea on the John. But how does one recognize? Sometimes we be on here and we just talk like friends. So then it's like then that John got to go out and I'd be like, oh, can we keep this? Or whatever. And I don't want to put nobody in no position. But how does one recognize or start to recognize when it's shifting from, oh, we are not both participating in this thing? What do you do, and what is that? Because I think then that does start to turn into all the things, because I'm for whatever reason right now, all of these buzzwords, all these the words that come up when you online and all that stuff, all the buzzwords are coming up, like codependence and attachment, unhealthy attachment, and things like that. How do you go from the love piece to recognizing that you might be in an unhealthy attachment?
Oh, I don't know. But that's the problem I'm having in my life now. Shoot, I don't know. If I'm being honest, I'm still talking to my other friend, it's so crazy because, I truly feel like love is an action word. Like, if you're not showing me the things, then
Right.
you don't love me, period.
Okay.
But then, talking to different people, I have some people that are like, oh no, that's dead, that's crazy, X, Y, and
Mm-hmm.
Z. But then I have some other people who have been in similar situations and have seen changes over time because
Mm-hmm.
they recognize that the reason why their person was, being that way or being such, a hard person to deal with was because of internal things that they had to fight. They
Right.
got that fixed, and then they were able to be the person.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know how to tell if it's that, hey, this person just doesn't love you, it's unhealthy, or if it's truly they have some issues and they
Mm-hmm.
need to get it fixed. I think like, and then two, like on my end, or the person that is in trying to decipher if they're in an unhealthy relationship,
Yeah.
um, their trauma and their past makes it hard to see because you want to be loved a certain type of way or you need to see certain things to determine if it's love, but that doesn't mean that the person doesn't love you because they're not doing, X, Y, and Z. um like for example, for a person like me, I assume that everybody is the way that I am. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you're mad at me and you still can't show up for me, then you automatically don't love me. And it might not necessarily
Mm-hmm.
be true, but for me, I feel like there's certain things that you just don't do. Um, there's a certain way that you act, regardless of the hurt, the pain, whatever I'm going through, whatever you're going through. If you love me, then you would be this way.
Mm.
And
So where does that come from? I know that about you, and I I'm inclined to agree to a certain extent, but I know we've had conversations before about what quote unquote showing up looks like, and then I know we have last I feel like last year was like big for like relationship men and women, whatever, men are this and women are that, and whatever these kind of podcasts are. And I don't really want to turn that into that, but I do want to kind of as it pertains to, I think you pose a very interesting point where it's like, what does showing up mean for you? I guess is what I'm asking. Because like some people might feel like, and we were talking about this, I think when we were talking about like your children and stuff like that. It was like, oh, I'm going to get this thing for you, but they were like, oh, I wanted you there. I wanted to spend time with you, and that would have been better. And obviously, hindsight is 2020, so they could say that now. But when they were
mhm,
screaming for the Blues
you
Clues,
definitely wanted
like
Blue's
I say,
Clues, right?
like throwing a tantrum and like if I ain't gonna get them Blues Clues, it was gonna be a problem. But in relationships, like what does that look like for you? What does showing up look like for you?
Um, for me, you
For you.
know, I mean, so when we first started getting deep in the DMs, I felt one
Hmm.
way. Like I felt
Yeah.
like if you're not buying me stuff, then you're dead. Like you don't love me, like that's dead.
Hmm.
Like you need to be buying me stuff, paying on my bills. And while I still feel that way,
Hmm.
um, to a certain degree, I feel like for me, showing up is simple things. Like when I'm out the house for a long time, you text me, you ask me, am I okay?
Yeah.
If you go to the poppy store, you bring me back a chunky and a ginger
Mm.
ale. Like,
A what?
you
A what?
a chunky and a
What is
ginger
that? What is
ale.
a chunky?
The little four square chocolate. It's in the silver package. It's like peanut chocolate stuff. It's good.
All right.
But just stuff
I'm
like
sorry.
that. Like
I didn't mean to
I
stop you,
guess
but.
it's consideration. I was telling my friend that I think that should be like a love language. I just want to be considered. Like I just want to be
Hmm.
thought of throughout the day. So that's showing up for me. So we have an argument, or we're at odds. Um, Showing up in love for me is, I know I'm mad at you, but I'm still gonna bring you some lunch. I'm not going to give you a kiss, and I'm not going to say, "Hey, boo, babe," or nothing like that. But here go your
Right.
food. That's showing up. Um, Good morning, good night. Are you okay? Just simple things like that is showing up. Um, to let me know that you care, that you're thinking of me throughout the day. That's
I think that
all I
goes, I
really
think
need.
that fits into like words of affirmation, right? Like it's like you want to hear the thing. Like, even if, even if I don't bang with you right now, I still see you as somebody that I care about, so I'm going to send you a text, even if it's, listen, I know we, had a little rough moment, but just try to make sure you're good. We can go back to being stink face or
Yeah,
whatever, but I see you
I'm
over
mad at
there.
you,
You're still,
but you
yeah,
look very pretty today. I'm
yeah,
not. You made me mad yesterday, but I'm not going to let you leave the house without telling you you look nice. Like
yeah.
it's things like that. Like
Okay.
I'm very simple. Like to me, that means a lot. Like the way I know that you love me is if you make me feel a certain type of way. Um, so even if you don't say it, like I said, it's certain things that you could do, you know? So it's very easy for me to get caught up because if you do those things that you don't even have to love me to do that. Like, cause it's very
Right.
simple. You can,
Hmm.
if you learn that about me,
Yeah.
you could do it. And I could
Right.
easily be fooled into thinking that you do. You know what I'm saying? It's very easy to do. It's real simple. Like I don't feel like you even
Right.
have to love somebody to do those things. But I feel like if you do love a person, you'll do those things consistently. Like you wouldn't,
Yeah.
because it'll just come second nature to you. But I have to
But some
realize that
people, yeah. No, I'm saying
people
some
aren't
people,
me.
yeah. But I feel like just like what you're saying is that some people just know how to do that though. People are know that to be part of a relationship. Like I'm sitting here asking you a question that I don't even know if I exactly know the answer to. But I've had relationships or I've had partners where, the woman is like, "Oh, isn't it your mom's birthday next week?" And I'm like, "Oh, it is." Like, and for a minute, I'm like, "Oh, this is dope. I think what a great thing that you knew." But also, you just know how to be a girlfriend, so you wrote that down when I said it, and what I'm saying, this is not necessarily consideration. It's brownie points, like what I mean. And
I'm
then, but I
definitely her. And I can't, I don't have to care nothing about you at
Yeah,
all.
exactly. So yeah, exactly, because that's just what I do in relationships. Like, what I'm saying, and here we go again. To be a W girlfriend, I'm supposed to do this thing, know when your mom's birthday is, such and such a thing. But when it came to the connection wasn't there. So I knew he wasn't, that's how I knew it wasn't for me, at least. And it turns out for this person that I'm thinking about, I don't even know if she had a framework of what more was, or what I was kind of looking for, which was a deeper connection than the boyfriend girlfriend thing. Because and I was a little bit older than her, so I don't know if that means anything, but maybe it did. But no, but I love that because, like you said, people don't even. I think where it gets a little tricky is that people know those things, and like you said, if you know that about me, like what I'm saying, or even if you know that the person likes consideration in general, is just like, oh, then I'll make sure I do that, but I'm not offering this other thing or whatever. And basically, I love that you said the thing about the love languages too, because it's like, basically, if I know your love language, I might be able to cater to your love language, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're doing the thing. um
Because that's how I don't want to say manipulate, but
mhm.
that's kind of how I do my thing. Like I figure out what it is, what your thing is,
So
and
this
then I
is
do your
so
thing, and then
let's get into it though, right? So I love that because I was talking to a friend yesterday. I've had several. I've been cheating on you with conversation.
Oh no! Wow, I knew that's what
No,
I
but it's
said. We broke
no,
up, and you start cheating on. That's
it's just
crazy.
conversation.
Who is
No,
it?
no,
Who is she?
no,
Please, who is she?
nobody. It's only you. Uh, no, but it just happened to come up, and then I was like, oh, I gotta. Then this is how you know it's love, because I was like, oh, I gotta say that to Khadijah. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I just lost the train of thought because I thought that was so funny. But we both have very interesting pasts in that we are um we come from kind of people pleasing background, but we also come from how do I say this? In wartime,
Oh my God.
we know how to get what we want and or need in that moment, and we know how to do those things, right? I think we bonded a little bit, maybe in the wrong way, but we bonded a little bit. And I'll just be vulnerable myself and say, I don't necessarily think. Let me put it like this. I'm going to tell you what I told my homegirl, that sometimes I wonder if I'm truly desired or if I'm just hella persuasive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I know how to talk. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know how to get myself. And I don't know if there is. I always used to make this joke where it's like, you put me in a room with anybody and I can charm that person. And I don't use my powers for evil. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't usually do that because I feel bad if I'm trying to manipulate you. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely an evil villain.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what villains say.
I literally do. Don't do something to me and think that's it. Okay.
Yes.
So, I know what you like. You'll be back, and then I'm gonna ghost you.
So this is, I mean, like, I don't know, maybe even as you saying that, this is the two sides of the same coin. Like, where I'm just like, listen, sometimes, you know what I'm saying? No. So I would, like I said, in wartime, and I say wartime, when I say wartime, I mean in between relationships. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I'm just out there, out in the world, ain't nobody husbanding me up. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's my new term. I need somebody to husband me up, yo. But ain't nobody out there husbanding me up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go, you out in the wild. What you gonna do? You gotta go find just some.
You gotta do your thing.
So in the meantime, that's what my brother would call it. So in the meantime. So, but I got into a pattern of, you know what I'm saying, getting in the DMs and being like, yo, what's up? Like, you know what I mean?
What's up?
What's up with the what's up? Oh, what a great phrase. We gotta make a t-shirt that say what's up with the what's up, because it is my favorite phrase, even though like that and Z says when it get down to the get down, it's kind of the same type, you know what I mean? But what's up with the what's up is so apropos for what we're talking about, and I hope people can read between the lines. But you know what I'm saying, I jump in somebody's DM quick and be like, yo, what's up with the what's up? I'm actually very particular. I have a particular set of skills, and let's be about it. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing.
Oh God,
it helps you jump the line sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It does though.
I'm not going front on it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Until I started, even when it was in war times, I started feeling like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I won't never know if I'm just like offering, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? In the wild, in wartime, I don't know if anybody's going to really decline, like, you know what I'm saying, an easy situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, listen, no strings, no, the other part about that is it's good for me to kind of stay in my pattern, because this about me. I don't necessarily like being involved with everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'll be, if it's a 2-day excursion or a month-long excursion, you know what I'm saying, then I can just kind of retreat back to myself. That's good for me when I'm not thinking about being husbanded up. Like, I don't know how I said it, so now I done messed up. But, so a lot of times I just like being in my bed and not having to worry about nobody else. So those kind of situations are way easier, right? But as I get older, I keep on telling people I'm 44.7 years old. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The lines have become way too blurry for me. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know where my value in people's lives, you know what I'm saying, is, and it's easy to fall into that trap of, like I was saying about, I don't know if I'm desired or really desired or hella persuasive, because like you were saying, this is where it came from. Like you were saying, I could talk, like, you know what I'm saying? I could talk, like, you know, and I know what people want to hear, and I know, you know what I'm saying, I know how to get into situations, and like I said, it's not even even though yours might be more nefarious, but my for me, it's more so just like I said, I'm trying to skip the line. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to like, you know, Chris Rock had this great joke about he can't stand like when he's in a relationship and then he got like, you know, his girl has a home girl, and then you end up being on a play date with the homegirl's boyfriend or whatever, and then you got to sit up there and be like, oh, you like baseball? And you're like, oh, I like baseball too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't stand, like, you know, people say they don't like small talk. It's not necessarily small talk, but after you out of a relationship, the last thing that you want to do is go meet somebody else and be like, oh, what's your favorite color? Like, you know what I mean?
I just said that today
Until you do.
To my friend. I was like, I'm trying so hard to not say what's up with the what's up to this particular person, because what do you want? Like, you're talking to me, you ask me how my day was every day. Like, do you just want to be smutted out? Because what's the problem? Somebody trying to love you and you get mad because but I'm like, I feel like if you say, hey, let's go out, then I know you want more. If you say, let's come over, but just don't keep, you know, good morning, how's your day? Like, what's up? What's up? What's up? Because I might be what's up, and it might not be.
Yeah.
But you do, like, I get so antsy. Like, I want to just be like, yo, what's up? What's going on? Like, what is it? Like, what do you want?
But have you ever done that? And this is taking a weird turn, but whatever. This is how we do it. But have you ever done that though when it wasn't about like physical? Have you ever done that relationship wise? Like, you know what I'm saying? What's up? I'm feeling you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Can we or should we explore that? Or does what's up with the what's up kind of tell you where you need to be?
Absolutely not. I lead with, I think, what my best skill is. And you know, because like, you know, like I like back to what we were talking about before, like past trauma and all that kind of stuff. Right. Like, I feel like, you know, and I'm only doing this one vulnerable moment today because you got to start, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like just from being younger and being teased and not feeling like I was desired. Like, when I got to high school, I kind of started popping a little bit, but I got teased so bad up until that point, and it still affects me to this day. Like, even I was saying, like, some men, when they are talking to me, I'm kind of looking at like their past women, and I'm like, bro, I'm nothing like that. Like, she's light skinned, weave, makeup, and I'm dark skinned, natural hair, big lips, no makeup. Like, what's up? And you know, so I'm thinking that, you know, I always think that you don't want that. I always think you want the what's up and not actually me. I always assume that. So a lot of it's been times, I'm not gonna say a lot, but a lot of times I probably mess up situations that could have been something because I'm like, well, you know, what's up if I like them back.
And we talked about this a lot, and I'm gonna be vulnerable too. Like, I don't know if we ever really talked about where my insecurity comes from, but like, you knew me when I was younger, like, you know what I'm saying? And ever since college, like, I've struggled with my weight, like, you know what I'm saying? I've struggled with just like whatever. Everybody has insecurity. Even like the most beautiful person has insecurity. So whatever they're projecting or presenting versus what they feeling inside, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's probably some of the most beautiful people in the world that are having the same issues and think that they only are worth or only can get or achieve like kind of what. And it's like, sometimes when it's been so long, like, you know what I mean, you know, you just kind of take whatever you can get. You take scraps or whatever. I mean, it don't feel like scraps when you're doing it, but like immediately after, it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Dad, I wish it could have been something else. But in the moment, it's like, oh, I just need to feel something. You know, that skin hunger is real. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like anybody to say it ain't, you know, damn lie. You know what I'm saying? So, but for me, it's funny because I talk about vulnerability. Most of the time when I look in the mirror, I'm like, that is a good looking, that's a good looking brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes like I said, I have moments of insecurity, but also I'm also 44.7 years old and I have not been married. I don't have no kids. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't have that long last. I have a string of important loving relationships in my life, but I haven't had sustained love in any kind of way. So when it's after the fact, this is when mine happened, is like, I'll be like, oh, well, why the heck didn't that work? Like, you know what I mean? I was being top tier, me, boyfriend, like, you know what I'm saying? So what was wrong? And, you know, this is the shadow, but what the shadow does is like, I don't know, you could be thinner, like, you know.
Oh my God.
You could be smaller or taller, or like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a medium-sized dude, like, you know what I'm saying? So like I'll be on
A
the
medium-sized dude. I'm sorry, that is crazy.
Because I'm 5'10", right? But I'll be on the app.
How tall?
5'10".
Okay.
So, but this is what I'm saying. I'll be on the apps and it'll be a woman that's 5'2" and be like, I only want 6 foot or higher. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what you gonna do with somebody that's 6 foot high? I mean, I could, you know, and then here go the shadow, but I can imagine what people think that means as far as like protection, sexual prowess, whatever those things are, like, you know what I'm saying? But it's funny because as we're even as we're talking about, I'm thinking about more things, but it's just like, you know, I'm a as I always make the joke, not the mistake. I always make the joke that I'm a big, strong man. I say it to everybody. Anybody that knows me knows that I walk around saying I'm a big, strong man. But that's really projection. I'm really trying to let people know because I'm very silly. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm very soft. Like, and I'm very like, I mean, not soft in the way that people say soft, but soft in a way that I'm in touch with my feelings. I'm very sensitive. I'm very caring. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that does not project well when people are trying to choose a mate. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's like, oh, well, if he's sensitive, and this one clip, I think I sent it to you, but out of all of that cacophony of, weird relationship podcast that went on last year. One clip. This is one boy. He always be really dropping science, but I just don't know what the thing is. The boy with the glasses and goatee. I think you know what I'm talking about. But he was like, the question was like, how do you deal with a man that's more sensitive than you? And he was like, sis, if he can't be sensitive with you, where can he be sensitive? Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, me, like I said, 90% of the time, I feel like my understanding of the world and the way I move through life is an elevated understanding, right? Until somebody picks Jerome, like, you know what I'm saying, from 52nd Street over me, then I'm like, you know, well, what does Jerome have that I don't? And like, you know, a lot of times, like I said, in the shadow, I'm like, well, he presents more whatever. Y'all can't see the the motion that I'm making, but more strength or more whatever. Like, you know what I mean? That's why a lot of times, if you don't know me like how you know me, you don't see the personality. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't see people like, oh, I thought you was quiet, or I thought you was mean, or whatever. No, I'm just walking through life because I don't have any place to put the, all of this stuff. But it's also like, we live in a society. We live in a world where, you cannot always, and it's getting better. Like the kid, like, it's funny because my teens are different than we were able to be when, you know what I'm saying, when we were younger, when we were that age. But yeah, I mean, the long story short, I deal with a lot of post relationship insecurity. So then, you know, just like with anything, my cycle has been I'll go to my comfort zones. Like I'll have like friends with benefits or whatever that thing is that I can just be like, all right, well, you know, I know I can always come back to this situation. We are here, and I don't know how they feel about me. You know what I mean? They might feel strong. They might be waiting for the day where I'm like, you know, husbands me up or whatever. But maybe you know, but I go back to that and I'll say like, at least this is comfortable. This is sound, and this is where you and I are similar, is that like, oh, I'm just gonna go get something that I know I can achieve. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go shoot my shot where, and this can be a kind of continuation of our last one, but I'm gonna go shoot my shot because, you know, if you give me a little bit of rhythm, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, well, let me show you what I can do, or let me show you, you know, and at least for that hot moment where you got them, where you done charmed the person, you feel vindicated in the way that you know, your self-worth, which is fucked up. Like, you know what I mean? You know, I mean to put, but you feel like you've achieved something, you know? And yeah, no, so I mean, believe me, like I'm a good looking dude. Nah, don't, but I
But you helped
feel,
me
you know,
realize, you're the one who helped me realize that though, that I was doing all that, like I know that I'm top tier in certain areas.
TT.
All right. So I know that if nothing else, I can get you in that way. So
Yeah.
rather than try to put myself out there in a relationship shot and possibly get shot down because you're not really attracted to me, you don't like me, I
Right.
just automatically assume that. I know that if that happens, like that's a wrap. Like if nothing else, you're going to continue to call me about that forever and ever and ever. So I'll do that if I feel like it, because sometimes I'll be playing around, don't ever actually go through with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's part of it too. That's the dance is fun too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like for me, like I always say, I don't really do one night stands because like I don't really like it. Like, you know what I'm saying? To be completely honest, or, you know what I'm saying, talk about being vulnerable. It's too much pressure. Like what? Like I'm supposed to come, you know what I mean? Whatever. Depending on what the situation
It ain't no
is.
one night stand because once you get them, they gonna keep coming back. That's why ain't no one night stand.
But that's why you got to be top tier. So, you know that. But here's the thing. So if I do get myself, what I'm saying, if I do build up the courage to go there, I'm gonna try to make it the best experience. But you know, a lot of times it's just like, you know, it's like ego stuff. It's just like going on Tinder or something like that. Like I don't be on Tinder necessarily to get dates. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like, do you think I'm attractive? Because my last girlfriend might didn't. Like, you know what I'm saying? So let me see how many, you know what I'm saying? And that's the weird, like, you know, Kanye was talking about like the study that they did on people swiping their fingers and like what kind of endorphins it releases into you know, that's why a lot of our apps now are, you swipe this way, you see this kind of thing, you get this kind of reaction, you get this kind of, so for me, and it's been like that since these apps have been invented. Now I've met some people on the apps, but like for the most part, I just go on there and kind of just swipe. And like, I love people watching. I don't know if we ever talked about this, but like back in the day, Craigslist, I used to always go on Craigslist and see the men seeking, women seeking men seeking women, and just like, because it's kind of like people watching, like, you know, I'm just like being nosy. Like, what do you think about yourself? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you trying to attract? What are you trying? So now, you know, I like studying people. So it was a perfect way to kind of do that, you know, from my little couch, you know what I'm saying, in my home, and not really have to venture out and be like, oh, you know, this, you know, interact with people more than I needed to. But, so it's kind of a weird advanced way to people watch. But, yeah, I just think it's interesting because I know that, like I said, that's something that we share and are both trying to heal from. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't really do it no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't really put myself in that position because I know that's not what I'm looking for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if I, but the other thing that came up as far as that is concerned, the second part about that, and you're gonna hate this because it was St. Louis that I was talking to about it. But
I knew it was.
I know, but
I ain't even gonna say nothing because you
I love
probably
it
listening, but you
I know
right, sis.
I
You
know she's
right.
listening, so she gonna have a ball about this. But no, here's the thing. But the thing is that I also, though, in my 44.7 years of age, not knowing whether I'm desired or just persuasive, it makes me not want to pursue people anymore. And I think we have talked about this, but like I'm like, yo, I don't want to chase after nobody. Like, you know what I'm saying? If it's not organic, if it's not like, oh, we meet like that clip I sent you yesterday with the two people that met on the plane and now they stuck in New York because they don't want to leave each other. Like, if it's not like that, I really don't want to fuck with it. Like, excuse my language, but you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what is it worth to me to be like, like I said, like, well, you like baseball or, or, you know what I'm saying? Sorry for that voice.
Why you keep saying it like that, though? What's the voice that go with that?
That's
oh,
how
you
I
like
feel when I
baseball?
say it, though.
Like,
I know. But that's how I feel about it because I feel like a certain amount of like creep or disgust when I think about pursuing somebody until, you know what I'm saying? And I wrote a book about love and interactions and things like that. You can go check that John out if you want. It's on Amazon right now. You know what I'm saying? Go get that John, The Love Unsaid. But it's
I'm writing a book called Love is for Suckers.
See, this is what I mean. This is why I want you to
That's
have.
what my book is going to be. Love is for
I want
suckers.
you to have love in your life. I want you to,
I have love. I realize that. I have my friends
explain
love
that to
me. My friends love me.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why right now I'm trying to chill. Like I'm just trying to focus on what I'm doing this salon, get this house. I ain't worried about no little nothing, no little booze or nothing like that. I'm just gonna stay focused and that's it. Because love is for suckers. Like
so this is but I'm curious though, because what are you doing actively? And like you just said, a chill out period, I am all for that. You know what I mean? Like, listen, my mind ain't right. I can't do this correctly. I don't have the capacity to go through the things that I go through in these relationships. I know I'm in a cycle. So instead of continuously being in that unfulfilling cycle, I'm just going to chill. Like, I'm doing that myself for, a little bit, like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not, I don't think love is for suckers.
I mean, like I have a whole unresolved situation. Like I'm just out here being crazy because I'm not getting the attention or the love that I feel like I want.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's out here, but then sometimes I feel like I can't get it. So I'm like, rather than deal with all that right now, I'm just trying to focus. But it's hard because people are still like, hey, chocolate. And I'm like, are you saying hey because you just saying hey, or are you saying hey because you saying hey?
Yeah,
and so I'm trying to see what the hey is because depending on what you look like, I might,
Yeah, it might be wartime, like you know. What I'm saying?
So I'm trying to chill.
That cheetah, yeah. No, but I'm curious though because I think you alluded to it before, but I wanted to get into my vulnerability. But no, you alluded to it before, where it's like, how do you shift from? Because I think you had said this, but a lot of the stuff might be internal things. Like sometimes we in our own way, like you know what I mean. Like I know specifically. You know what I'm saying? We can cut this out if we need to, but I know specifically as somebody that, from my vantage point, seemed like they were into you more than you could allow yourself to realize, right? And for all of the interaction, like every time we talked about this person, it seemed like you were just like, well, first it was like you put this fella in in a category, and this is before, your evolution as it was, like, what I'm saying. But you had put this person in a category, and it seemed like for at least a little while he was trying to get himself out of the category. Now, I don't know if I think he might have messed up, in the middle of that. But how much, the person and the whatever is not the point, but how much do you think you're still getting in your own way, and how do you rectify that if you want ultimately to have something fulfilling?
For me in particular, I think I have to really decide and resolve what's going on right now. And as the twins get older and a little bit more difficult to deal with, it's kind of harder to really decipher, because when a person is around more, you kind of fall back into old routines, not necessarily like, relationship type stuff, but you just kind of fall into a routine. That's kind of why I said I just need to fall back and just chill. Like, is it worth trying to see what's up and like you maybe resolving your demons, and then, I do what I got to do, and then we can kind of reconvene and like sit and really work on it? Or do I see what's out here? But all I know, the hard part is in the midst of all that, you know what I mean? I'm still trying to what's up sometimes. With people like, hey, I have to really be conscious of the fact that, because part of the problem with that other situation too is like, I feel like when I start off leading with something, I always think that that's what it is. Like, I feel like, so no matter what you say or do, I'm always going to assume that that's what it is. Right. Because a lot of times when it happens and I try to do something different, it's almost like I can't get out of that place with those people. So, and it's probably my fault, because I just assume like the same way they're probably looking at me, I'm looking at you like that too. Because you're easy, like, and that was too easy for me to do that. So, like, a lot of my friends sometimes say that I'm like the guy sometimes, because it's like, I'm going to throw you away now because that was crazy. Like, you were too easy. The conversation was too easy. And even if nothing even ever happens, just the fact that, because I tell people my situation, it's not like I'm going in saying,
you're not being deceitful or
right. So if I tell you, and you still let's go to the bookstore. Okay, so in my head, I'm like, the same way you probably will look at somebody else. Like, I'll put you in that category in my head. Like, nah, you know. So now I want to treat you however I want to. That's why I need to decide like what I'm going to do. Get free and clear all the way, cut all the way down. Period. So I can really focus. But I think the important part is just really like recognizing for yourself. Like, at first I had to go through the part where, like, you helped me realize that a lot of what I was doing, I wasn't getting really any satisfaction on enjoyment on my end. It was all about trying to prove to somebody else that I was worth something. Right. And then, which is crazy, because then once I did that, now I instantly don't like you anymore, which is crazy because like I went through all of that to show you that I was worth something, and now I don't even like you at all.
That's why it's like an addiction or like a high. Like, you know what I mean? It's like everybody talk about like their first time doing like coke or whatever that thing is. It's like you're never going to get the same feeling as that first high. When it comes to physical relationships, it's different. It's like, I guess it's only so many drugs, right? Even though I don't know, if you watch Euphoria, it's all kinds of drugs. But but it's only so many kinds of drugs. But when it's people, you know, it could be different every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and when you are trying to, accomplish. I don't know what the word
I'm trying to
is.
get revenge on all them little light skinned girls. Like, oh, you thought he wasn't gonna like me?
Yeah,
Now I got him, and now I don't like him anymore. It's like I'm out to get
yeah,
revenge on. Like,
yeah.
I'm
So
still
you try,
trying
yeah,
to make up for
yeah.
all the little boys who teased me.
Mm-hmm.
Because believe it or not, a lot of those boys you teased me. You said I was African booty scratcher, all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
black at the street. Oh, you ugly. Oh, you this. I like her. I don't like you. Like I've had, the whole situation. A lot of people went through that. Oh, my friend like you, and I didn't really say that, and now the boys like she ugly, and I'm like, bro, I don't
Mm-hmm.
even like you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All the light skinned guys that I thought were so cute, I was just
Mm-hmm.
disgusting to them. All 90% of them have in some way been in my inbox, reached out to me. I just
Yeah.
see you in the store, you just said something to me, and I know I don't like you.
Yeah.
But I remember what you said to me in fifth grade. So here go my
Right.
number.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
ultimately, I'm sitting here thinking that I'm getting some type of revenge, but they were actually winning. And I didn't even realize that I'm just getting the satisfaction of proving that I could get you. But
Mm-hmm.
did I really
Vindication.
know? And
Right.
I had to realize that I wasn't really winning anything in the end. And I wasn't even really getting satisfaction out of it because I know that I'm top tier, but they may not have been.
Right.
And I didn't even care. I'm giving my
Mm-hmm.
best performance just so
Right.
I can ghost you and you can be sad forever and keep
Mm-hmm.
messaging me. Like, dumb. I mean, I didn't realize that at the time, but now. And then too, like it wasn't just that too. Like you still had to come up off some bread too. So you wasn't just, so it was kind of like, girl, what are you doing? So now for me, it's just really recognizing like, what are you doing? Like, you're not interested. You're just looking for attention. Um, and then, just really trying to recognize my trauma showing up when I see it or my shadow or whatever it is, because I'm very
Mm-hmm.
much revenge too.
Yeah.
And then, like I said earlier, like a lot of the men who are attracted to me, when I see their past, I'm like, bro, there's no way you could possibly like me for real. Like, there's no way that you can like me when I look at all the other women that you've been with. So I have a hard time. I was telling Orion today, like, dark skinned men rarely, rarely say anything to me. They rarely approach me. Um, and I don't know why that is, but um, they all hated me the same. Like the dark skinned men hated me the same, the light skinned men hated me the same, and it's like, what? It's I don't know. We were kids, so it might have been a peer pressure thing because that's just what the thing was.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's
now
interesting though. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish that thought.
it's just now as an adult, I don't know. It's like I'm looking at the same faces, not the same people, but it's like a lot of them resemble. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
how or how? I know if we were in class together, you would have said that about me. So I'm still like, well, not still, but I felt like I was on a
Yeah.
revenge
Tour.
get back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to get back. I was out here
He's
like,
like,
wow, like,
and
no,
you are Johnny Sims,
I'm
and
breaking
this
hearts out
is
this joint. I'm
yeah.
gonna like I will literally chase you down to make you talk to me again to ghost you so that I could and then just turn the notifications off so that I can see you still calling me
So
to know that you
yeah.
called me. Like
That's
crazy.
so funny. I mean, listen, I understand it though. I mean, it is a villain origin story for sure. But
You
here's the thing.
saved me.
So
I was definitely on the path, boy.
yeah, that's so funny. But here's the thing, right? So two things that you said in there. What I think happens, and this, I got a good example of this, but I don't know if this is the case. You know what I'm saying? As always, when we're talking about our experiences, we feel like our experience is the world's experience, right? You said this earlier, like, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily believe in common sense. I don't believe in even a common understanding, I don't think anymore, because, I don't know, because we're all having individual experiences, right? It's like that girl that you sent me the other day. We send each other a lot. I don't know. We send each other TikToks, we send each other all kinds of reels and stuff. But this young lady, she said the same thing, like, dark skinned dudes don't never like, and then I don't know what she started talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Some old crazy stuff where it didn't necessarily correlate. Seemed like she was about to give us some real good insight.
Yeah, I was waiting for her to drop
yeah, it never went anywhere. But what I will say is, and the thing that I can liken it to is, I sometimes, and this will get a little bit controversial, but not super. But I sometimes are like, why are, and I know Black women say the same thing about Black men, but like, why are Black women going for these white dudes? And I'll be like, it's like, the projection of something better or grass is greener or whatever that thing is. I feel like there's definitely something internally that's like, oh, this is better for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that everybody's like that. I'm not saying, no, so don't at me, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. But I think there's a projection. So like, I think when I finally allowed myself to kind of think about it, I was like, it's hard, even though you and I think ultimately might feel differently. It's hard when you're trying to choose somebody to look at somebody that's just like you, quote unquote, and say, oh man, we're going to have a great experience. I've already had my own struggle. So why am I going to choose another thing that's like me to double the struggle? Like, you know what I'm saying? So this is how I try to even it out, like, you know what I'm saying? And not be like prejudiced or hateful or whatever those things are. I'm like, okay, so there's, on a certain level, we are trying to alleviate ourselves from more pain and more ridicule. If you're a Black person in this country, in this world, a lot of times, if you're a person of color in this country, it is difficult. It is a difficult experience. So why am I going to latch myself onto another one and then have double the problem, right? And, you look at, in that situation, you look at the other one, they just be having such a good damn time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything was so damn fun. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, well, let me do that. So that's how I kind of woosah my brain, from the ire that I might feel. But on the other side, as far as, you were like, they were saying the same thing, they knew their experience, right? So it's like, well, if somebody come in and can take some of that brunt of that vitriol from me, I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let me throw it on them. The dude that the comedian boy that I love, Pete Holmes, he was like, he he always says he was a soft man. He was a round kid, like, you know what I mean? So once the new round kid came to his school, he saw his chance and was like, oh, look at fat boy, like, you know what I mean? Because before then he was the fat kid in the class. But he says, because he's really tall, he's like 6'4". And it's like, but like the kid might not even have been a whole bunch more weight than him, like, you know what I'm saying? But because he was new and everybody started picking on him, he found that as a way to get into the in crowd and be like, like, oh, here's my chance to get some of that detraction. And then if you guys think that I'm cool because I'm joining, like, you know what I mean, then maybe you won't get on me. Little did he know. And then this isn't actually a part of his story, but if you just flesh it out a little bit more, little did he know if that person left, then guess what? You the fat kid again. You the fat kid again.
That's probably, I don't know, but I always said, like, I like light skinned men, and it's probably for that reason. But like the dark skinned men didn't like me.
Well, but so this is what I mean.
But
this is what I mean, though. I feel like it's hard, especially as a kid, like, you know what I'm saying, and a kid in the 80s and 90s when, it wasn't, you know what I'm saying. Now, had it been like, when did Tyson Beckford come out? Like 95, 90, 94, 95?
They still don't like me, though. Like,
no, but here's the thing. Things change. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I
Like
made the
maybe media, what they're saying in the media now,
yeah,
like when they
like, you know what
say
I mean?
light skin
Then
are
like
in, dark skin is in.
Tyson was beautiful. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody had ever really said that, you know what I'm saying? Or, to my, obviously to my experience, nobody was ever been like saying like, oh, look at this beautiful dark skinned woman. Like, you know what I mean? Like Whoopi Goldberg was so beautiful. I mean, she is beautiful, but like when she was doing all that comic relief stuff, like with Robin Williams and somebody say it in the comment, I don't remember what her name is. But you know what I mean? She looked so like she was so beautiful when she was a movie star in the 80s and 90s. Like, you know what I mean? She was beautiful. But nobody saying that. They was like, oh, look how
Mm-hmm.
funny she is. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of who was like top tier dark skinned woman at that time. But the point is that then became Tyson, and he was dark skin, even, but he was like magazine dark skin, so
Yeah.
or
Maybe.
video dark skin, meaning like they even with that they still was putting the lights on them and making them shine in this kind of way or whatever. But look at how we got, like, if you asked 5 years ago who one of the sexiest men alive, everybody would say Idris Elba. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I
Now,
mean,
what's the bull name that everybody love right now? Trevante somebody or whatever. Trevante, I
oh,
don't
from
know.
that new movie,
I don't know. Whatever he is, he dark skin. I don't want to get into this colorism thing too much. I mean, well, it's your experience, so
but
like,
I think I think that though has a lot to do with, like, to go back to the love thing. I think that's why I am the way I am. Like, I need the reassurance to know
yeah,
that you really
and
do
that's
like me
words of
because of
affirmation.
right,
Yeah,
because of that. Like,
yeah,
I wonder how different I would have been had I not had that experience. Like, I might
yeah,
not see love or need to
yeah.
feel love in that way, but it's
Mm-hmm,
because I heard so much negative. I
mm-hmm,
like to hear the positive. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, like even in high school. So when I started getting popping in high school, yeah, I was, but it was kind of like I remember, like, my boyfriend, like you or my boyfriend, literally came to my house. My parents picked you up and everything for my
mm-hmm,
birthday, but you went to the prom with some light skinned girl. Like,
mm,
had no idea. So it's
yeah,
like, you love me, but not out loud, like not in public. So
yeah.
all those different things, like, just
Well,
meet
kids are
me. Like, I would.
stupid.
No, but I'm saying, like, that
Yeah,
makes me so now. If you say
yeah,
you love me, like, it can't just be you said you love me. You literally
yeah.
have to put the do the work for me to
So,
feel it.
but the thing that worries me as being your friend, though, is that I don't know if there's ever going to be enough work to make you feel that way. And listen, also as your friend, the pool hasn't been great in my vision. So I don't know. Like, you had, to me, you haven't had a real top tier counterpart, you know what I'm saying, to show you the other stuff. Like, you know what I mean, to show you the thing, to pour that love into you where you won't have to seek it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you, like I said, and this is just me all the way from over here, kind of so I don't know that you've experienced that outside of the kind of manipulation that we talked about before, or somebody that may but is dealing with demons and all kinds of stuff. Which also, I'm glad that we kind of got there. It's not your fault or your burden to handle. So unfortunately, if they are not that thing that you need in that moment or desire, then I see you next lifetime. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right person, wrong time, like, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And who knows how long y'all been doing that, over thousands of years or hundreds of years or whatever. But like I said, my wish for you is that somebody will come in and be that thing, and you won't have to tinker, manufacture it into something else, or something, or I don't know. Sammy came in. I don't know that. And then once he hears his name, he's like, "It's my show, it's my podcast." I don't know that we don't all do that, where we're like, there's so many definitions of what we're supposed to be looking for, or what it looks like, and this and that there's so many voices that speak about what it is and what it's supposed to look like. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, you might have a set of friends that's like, no, it looks like this. This is how you're supposed to be. Like how you were saying, he's supposed to pay your rent and this and that or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Or, me, I'm like, what does it feel like? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I did that voice.
That's because you're holding your baby.
Yeah, I just turned into complete soft life me. But for real, like that's how I kind of feel about it. Where it's like, there's a lot of conversation. Obviously, I keep on talking about these podcasts, but there's so much conversation, and it just seems like everybody is more so focused on all of the things wrong or that have gone wrong, and there aren't a whole bunch of depictions or stories or whatever about the ways that it's right and how it should feel when it's right and these things. And now we've gone so far into the kind of bastardization of what the understanding of love is that we all just believe that, oh, it's this or it's for suckers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's why we're going to write our stories. We're going to write our own stories so that we can, like, I still want to get that done. So look for our Tubi movie coming.
This dude just Tubi thing on one of his groups I'm in, and he was like, this Tubi movie came out yesterday, and guess what? I'm in the front of this picture. And he was just like, it's just like, looked like every black movie with several black people standing in a triangle, in the front. Like,
I love triangles. Somebody always cheat.
I'm like, oh, you got it, one of them Jones? That's what's up. But all right, we could just do this forever. Yeah, listen, I feel, with Tubi, anything is possible.
Right.
That's my sign off for the day. With Tubi, guys, anything is possible. But we could talk about this forever because this is basically what we be talking about, like all the aliens and all the other stuff. Let's talk about aliens next time. But all the aliens and all those things.
Different lifetimes and dimensions of galaxies, like in what's the movie with Will Smith? Remember they kept finding each other.
With Will Smith?
Hancock.
Oh, Hancock. Oh, it's another movie. What is that John called? It had Tom Hanks in it. It's a real good movie about like soulmates and people being, because it's like, it's not just soulmates, it's like a soul family, you know what I'm saying? So he was around these like several people, throughout, dozens of lifetimes. What is it called? Cloud Atlas. And it's funny, you're talking about Tubi movies. I wrote this script for this movie maybe 6 months before the movie came out, and I was like, no. So, you know what I mean? It's very close. It was executed okay, but you know what I'm saying, mine would have been better. So I'm gonna do another one. But anyway, listen, guys, we missed you. You guys don't even know that we were gone, probably. I love that. But we will see y'all next time. Thanks for joining us. If you have anything to contribute to this conversation, I feel like we started one place. I guess that's just what we do. We started one place and ended way sideways. But we love you very much, and we will see y'all next time.